I was shopping for sheets and they were so expensive. I mean, we're talking for me, $300 to $400. That's like a car payment,
Yeah.
especially back then. That was a car payment.
Hello and welcome to Starting Small. My name is Karen Nagle, and what you're about to hear is a resilient story to an entrepreneur's journey over the brand that we know and consume today. At Starting Small, I believe that everyone has a story to tell under one philosophy. Everyone starts small. Even these founders have once started where you are, in their parents' kitchen, basement, out of a wagon, and many more. At Starting Small, we discuss the strategies used, the obstacles overcome, and the successes of an entrepreneur's journey. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of Starting Small, and make sure to leave a review to let us know how you enjoyed it. Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Starting Small. Today, I'm joined by Karen Levine of PeachSkinSheets. Karen, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Cameron.
Of course. So I'd like to start out with your upbringing. Where did you grow up, and what would you say your childhood was like?
I grew up in Richmond, Virginia, and I think I had a pretty normal childhood. I have a little sister, and I had a younger brother. And so, it was just the typical sibling issues, rivalry, fun with the siblings. It was just a real wholesome type, I think, family life and environment. My mother was originally from the Dominican Republic. And so she was a very expressive, creative person. So I really believe that I got a lot of my creativity from her. And my father was originally from Hampton, Virginia, and he was very staunch in terms of like education. He really felt strongly about a solid education. And so likewise, I, felt that as well. And so education was very important to me, and my studies were very important to me. So
Amazing. Would you say that you had an entrepreneurial mindset growing up, say lemonade stands or selling products?
Yes, actually, yes. I I did do the lemonade stand. I even tried to sell greeting cards. I mean, pretty much I was always trying to sell something. I was very entrepreneurial minded. And, as a young child, there were things that I wanted, whether it be a toy or, anything else that goes through a child's mind. And my parents always encouraged me to, earn the money to obtain those things that I wanted. And since I was only probably 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, I couldn't go out and get a real job, quote unquote. So I just had to come up with ways to, to make some money. And I was always thinking ahead as far as that was concerned.
Amazing. So did you end up going to college? You mentioned education was a big part of your family life as well. Did you end up going to college? And if so, where did you go and what did you study?
Yes. So I went to a women's college. It's no longer a women's college. It's now co-ed. But at the time, I went to Mary Baldwin College in Stanton, Virginia, in the Blue Ridge Mountains. And basically, I chose a women's college because I wanted to be able to be at the top of my class, the top of my clubs, anything that I was involved with, and not have the issue of, I guess sex come into the picture, back then, we're talking, gosh, I graduated, it was between 1983 and 1987. That was when I went to college. And back then, all of the class presidents and so forth, there were always the guys. And so I didn't feel as though there was that much equal opportunity for women. And so I wanted to go to a women's college where I could truly succeed based on my merits and my level of ambition and passion and so forth, and not have to worry about, a male getting the position just because he was a male. Now, and of course, nowadays things are very different. But back then, at least in the area I grew up in and the schools that I went to, it was prevalent. And I also felt that, in high school, a lot of the guys were a little immature. And so the teachers did spend a lot of the classroom time disciplining them. And we didn't have, I don't believe, as much of a strong focus on being able to delve into our studies, because there just seemed to be so many disciplinary distractions. So I wanted to eliminate that also, from my educational environment in college.
Yeah.
And I really had a great college experience. At the time, there were only about 700 girls at the college. And, it just allowed for great relationships to be, to grow. And just the classroom environment was different. The learning environment was different. And I chose to major in advertising, international communications, and Spanish. Spanish because my mom, of course, is from the Dominican and I grew up speaking Spanish. But just like majoring in English, you end up getting a more well-rounded sense of knowledge, getting a degree in a language, whether or not it's your first or second language. So, you study literature and all those different things. So I did major in Spanish, advertising, and international communications. I did study in Madrid for a little bit.
Wow.
And I basically wanted to fashion my degrees around sales because I knew that in life, you're always going to be selling something, whether it's yourself, for a position or, sales is just what makes the world go round. It just does. So I wanted to fashion, my major towards sales. And I'm very glad I did. I feel that I got a very well-rounded education, and I believe that it truly set me up for success. So
amazing. Yeah, it seems like that certainly has lined up with PeachSkin and your ventures today. I'm curious, following school, what kind of jobs did you end up working prior to PeachSkin Sheets?
Well, I went into the corporate environment out of school. I worked for Kraft General Foods at that time. And so, got a taste of the corporate experience, which was very important because it is a lot different from being your own boss, and I think it was important to be able to experience that and see the other side and take away the valuable components that you find in a corporate environment that are very useful in even an entrepreneurial environment, running a company. That corporate structure, is important still. And you can incorporate that, maybe not to the same degree in a small company, but it is important to have some structure, without a doubt. And then after Kraft, I ended up getting married and started to have children and worked retail, worked in the cosmetics and fragrance industry and, learned a lot there too. And all of these experiences, all of my work experiences and educational experiences, I believe, all came together to help me in PeachSkin Sheets and, mold this company and the culture and so forth. And after the cosmetics and fragrance stint in retail, I actually went on to become a Mary Kay consultant because I was at home with my kids, and that allowed me flexibility. And it was a fabulous experience. I did become a pink car sales director. So I did have my little pink car driving around, and I had a team of about 100 women, but it was just an invaluable experience because I, was obviously 100% responsible for, the success of our whole team unit. It was made up of the successes of the team members, but ultimately it fell on me as the director to make sure that, everyone was motivated and had the correct training. And, it was like running your own little company. And that was, that was a great experience. Plus, there was a lot of personal growth that Mary Kay, the company, invested in with their consultants and directors. So I did experience a lot of personal growth and balance. And I met a lot of single moms. I wasn't a single mom at the time, but I did meet a lot of single moms and saw the additional drive and determination that they had, because they had so much on their shoulders. And, eventually I too became a single mom. And then I was living that experience. And I certainly could appreciate it from a whole new perspective. And because of that, our company, PeachSkinSheets, that's just a soft spot for me, single moms, because, there's just unbelievably hard workers, and they no doubt have a purpose because, they have children that are depending on them. Yeah. And they're very committed and they're very loyal, and they just go that extra mile. And, and we're very fortunate that in our culture here at PeachSkinSheets, even our married, employees are phenomenal. I mean, they're just on a different level. They're just awesome. Yeah. We're so blessed to have a family type environment. But I will say that, the single moms, there's just a special place in my heart for them because, for sure. I worked with so many of them and then I was one. So it's really important to me to give women like that a chance, an opportunity to help their families and so forth.
Definitely. I want to go back to the origin story of PeachSkinSheets. So what was the full inspiration? I know you're a Mary Kay consultant and you led into this avenue. Was there like an issue you found with current sheets? What was that problem you were trying to solve?
Yes. So, it's interesting because having been in Mary Kay and then after Mary Kay, I did pursue some other, Mary Kay was direct sales, but I did, test the waters with some other network marketing companies. And the one concept that was always there with network marketing companies is that your product needs to be something consumable, something that people need to replace. So I always had that in the back of my mind. And I personally love linens. I love decor. I love colors. And I actually was back in the corporate world, and the company went under and laid off all their employees. I was a marketing executive for them. And at that time, this was right before PeachSkinSheets, I said, well, you know what? I'm going to pursue an interior design degree because I just love interior design. Yeah. And so I was filling out my applications, and then all of a sudden, PeachSkinSheets was kind of born on a weekend. And what happened was I've always loved fabrics, like I said, and I was shopping for sheets and they were so expensive. I mean, we're talking for me, $300 to $400. That's like a car payment, especially back then, that was a car payment. And so I wanted the luxury, like every person wants that type of luxury. They want to feel great in their bed. They want to feel like they've got these incredible sheets that you're spending a quarter of your life in, For sure. But I didn't have $300 or $400 to spend on one set. And you really need at least two for your bed. You need one for your bed, one for your hamper. So then all of a sudden it turned into $800. So I started exploring, manufacturers here in the US and overseas. And I knew that if I were to develop a sheet brand, that it would obviously have to be affordable. And the price point of $100 or less, that seemed to be much more realistic for me personally. Yeah. And so I kind of shifted from interior design school and kind of moved my love of fabrics and colors over to the sheets world and, went on the hunt for a great set of sheets, great fabric. And at the time, I believe I was 48. And I wasn't quite hitting those menopausal years yet, but I knew they were coming. And so thinking about the features and benefits that I would personally want in a bedding product like bed sheets, I knew that I would want them to be not only affordable, affordable luxury, $100 or less, but also out of performance fabric that could handle the perspiration issues. Because even not being a woman, every family typically has at least one hot sleeper.
Yeah.
And so, I really felt that it would be important to have some type of performance athletic type fabric that could handle that. Then the breathability to go along with that, so that you could get a comfortable night's sleep. And then color, because I did notice that the sheet companies that were, prevalent at the time, they all just had these plain colors. I mean, now granted, I love neutrals. Let me tell you, and we've got some great neutrals.
Yeah.
But, there's more to life than neutrals.
Totally.
I mean, we need color too. People love, color just, it just infuses energy, or it infuses relaxation. I mean, there's so many benefits to color.
For sure.
And for someone who can't afford to totally redo their room with new furniture and new paint, you can change your set of sheets, via color and just have a whole new look in your room. So
for sure.
It just was a practical, variable too that I wanted to have. So, and then of course sheets are consumable items. So, they lined up with my philosophy, on that. And so I looked at manufacturers in the US, I looked at manufacturers overseas, played with many, many different types of fabrics, worked with these manufacturers. And, unfortunately with the US, I found that the cost was just going to be prohibitive. Really for me to have everything that I wanted in a sheet set, it was going to cost at least $200, which kind of knocked out the affordable luxury factor. So I did end up working with a manufacturer overseas that's a third generation family overseas. And they worked with me on perfecting the fabric and the finish, and that's how we came up with the PeachSkin finish, the brushed finish on both sides. It's super soft. I really found that a lot of these sheet companies, and still today, that say they have the softest sheets, my gosh, when you open up the packaging, you stick your hand in, it's like sandpaper. I mean, you're literally getting your hand exfoliated, just dipping them into the package, and you have to wash them, 5 or 6 times just to break them in before you can put them on your bed. And, it's just, I don't understand. Now, maybe after you wash them a million times, they get really soft, but let's face it, I don't want to have to go through that many wash cycles to sleep, on a cloud.
For sure.
So, with our sheets, they are soft. As soon as you take them out of the package, you can throw them in the washer if you want to. You don't have to. You can throw them on the bed, personal preference, but they are buttery, buttery soft because of that brushed peach skin finish on both sides. The fabric is an athletic grade performance fabric. It's what we call a smart fabric. It is a breathable poly fiber. So it is a synthetic, but it allows the moisture to be wicked away. Just to give you a comparison. So like if you're going to go to the gym, chances are you're not going to throw on a cotton t-shirt, because when you start sweating, it's going to stick to you and it's going to take forever to dry. You're going to have this wet t-shirt stuck on you. And the more you sweat, the wetter it's going to become. And you're going to leave the gym just drenched. Most people are going to look for athletic wear for their exercise wear that will wick away moisture and keep them drier, and not have the chafing, side effects and all of that sticking to their skin while they're working out. It's the same concept with our bed sheets. No one wants to wake up with a sheet stuck to them. Our sheets, they're not going to change your body chemistry. They may not totally eliminate your perspiration, but they are going to dry like that. So that way you wake up with a dry sheet, and it's breathable, it's cooling. And I will say they are year-round sheets. So they do work with your body temperature and the room temperature. So the hot sleepers do stay cool, and the cool sleepers can still stay cozy. I mean, they do work with your environment. If you turn on your ceiling fan and your air conditioner, it's going to help hold on to those temperatures that you personally enjoy.
Amazing. So I'm curious, in those early days and today, what do you find to be your best marketing strategies? Because I know a sheet is someone that the consumer likes to feel and understand if it's going to be the right sheet for them. I know you guys send out swatches, which differentiates yourself. So if you can explain that.
Yes. So swatches, that without a doubt, Cameron, that has to be one of our most successful marketing approaches, because now this comes from my love for interior design. I love swatches, and I was constantly ordering swatches. I still do, for different fabrics, for chairs or draperies or whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. And I did notice that I never throw away my swatches, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the colors don't even match. I say to myself, I can't throw that away, because one day I may decide to go with that color palette, and I need to have these swatches. So I've got like a drawer full of swatches. And so, in thinking about my take on swatches, I'm like, I'm sure other women don't ever throw away their swatches either.
Yeah.
Just taking a wild guess on that. But, I know I don't. So, I said to myself, we're going to have to start getting these swatches into people's hands, because, the internet's great. E-commerce is great, but let's face it, you don't get to see the product, feel the product, experience the product until you get it. And, with our swatch program, that allows customers to not only feel to believe the level of softness, but they can also get their perfect match, match it against their comforters or different rooms and so forth. And then I wanted to make the swatch program free, which I will tell you, it's an expensive program. I mean, free swatches, there's a lot that goes into swatches. There just is a lot that goes into it. And but as a consumer, I was used to paying, $1 or $5 a swatch. But I just, and I still feel this way, that free swatches is just critical, because, I don't want it to cost a customer to be able to have that first taste of our fabric, to really feel our fabric and understand the message that we're trying to convey, that the softness is just unmatched, and it really is.
Yeah.
And, our swatch program is an investment, because like I said, it is expensive, but I feel that it has been extremely successful. And our swatch customers, they're very loyal. They stay with us. They really do. So it's a program that really has been a major building block, for our company. It really has, so, and as we add more colors and such, we'll have more swatches.
For sure. So I'm curious, looking at your sales today, what would you say is the top seller, if you can depict that, maybe color wise or?
Yes. Well, definitely our classic white. White is still the number one seller. Close behind that would be the silver, and the graphite gray, because grays are so popular now. Yeah. And, one surprising color that's always at the top is our beach blue. And, I don't know if it's because it is a happy color. It's this beautiful aqua, this shade of aqua, but you would think that, maybe almond or vanilla bean or mocha might edge it out. But beach blue always is just up there. And it could also be because everyone loves the beach. It could have to do with the name. Everyone loves the beach, and it's just a great color. But I will tell you, it's a contender, right up there with the other top sellers. But, without a doubt, the classic white, you just can't go wrong. And that's why we did name it classic white, because It's
Yeah.
a classical color.
Amazing. Well, I like to wrap up each episode with this. If you can share a piece of advice with an aspiring entrepreneur, maybe something you've learned or regret along the way, what would you say that would be?
So my best advice, I think, for an entrepreneur, or really, it's just a person in general who, wants to grow and be the best that they can be.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yeah.
And so it's very important to choose wisely. And, that these people are perhaps where you'd like to see yourself in the future so that you can grow. Not so much, and that is out of your comfort zone. Typically it's out of a person's comfort zone, but it's important because it causes you to stretch. It causes you to think big. You are exposed to other people and experiences that normally you would not be.
Yeah.
And it really can be a huge, springboard to future success for you. And so, it's important for entrepreneurs, but really it's important for anyone out there just to choose wisely on who you spend the most time with and make sure that you're striving to go above and beyond, where you are today so that you can grow.
For sure. Well, Karen, thank you so much for taking the time to join me. And to the listeners
out
there.
Thank you, Cameron. It's been my pleasure.
I need to make sure everyone checks out PeachSkin Sheets at PeachSkinSheets.com.